Hello, hello, good afternoon. You are welcome to
Hi,
the African Trade Exhibition webinar
good afternoon.
11.0. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to have everybody on board today. I want to say welcome from West Africa, where we are. Welcome from South Africa. Welcome to Northern Africa, to East Africa, and everybody streaming from all around the world. Uh, we're just waiting a bit so as to get everybody on the platform. You can see some people are still trying to get into the platform, so our technical crew are trying to bring everybody on. I must say once again, welcome. Today is going to be very exciting. We have some very amazing industry experts in the house today who are going to be sharing the extensive knowledge on the trade and business opportunities that exist within the Southern African Development Community, which is the SADC. So just thank you once again for tuning in as we wait a bit for some more people to join us. Thank you very much. Welcome. Okay, so we are going to kick off this program now. Once again, my name is Ikichiko Odiri, uh, and I'll be the moderator for this session today. You are all welcome to the African Trade Exhibition. This is our 11th webinar series, 11.0. And for those who are new to our platform, the African Trade Exhibition is actually a pioneering, one of its kind, tech-driven expo event. It's a virtual hybrid event, first of its kind in Africa. The aim and goal of it is actually to bring African businesses, SMEs, conglomerates, companies, industry experts, and even government agencies together into a platform, a digital platform, to be able to showcase unique African products, services, innovations, and also even government policies. The whole essence of it is to actually bring up African businesses and players and industrial experts into one digital platform where they can, exchange goods and services, talk about government policies, and how it's affecting trade and intra-trade within the African region. Our mission and goal is to actually promote intra-African trade. We don't see any reason why Africa should not be able to stand as an economic bloc on its own if we actually harness the potentials within us through trading activities. The event is actually a biannual event. We do it twice a year, and it's strictly digital, which means you can participate from anywhere in the world. As a build-up to the African Trade Exhibition, we host these webinars every month to actually discuss more about it, build the anticipation, build momentum, and actually give our partners an opportunity to be able to talk to Africa and expose the kind of potential and credentials that different communities within Africa have to offer to the world, and also to showcase this at the African Trade Exhibition. So that said, I want to say welcome. We have some amazing guests in the house today who have, it's actually a privilege and honor to actually have them with us today. They're going to be sharing their insights on the economic opportunities, the business opportunities, the trading opportunities that exists within the Southern African development communities. For those who don't know what the Southern African development communities are, there are 8 countries that make up this community. There's South Africa, there's Zambia, there's Zimbabwe, there's Mozambique, Namibia, Tanzania, and Angola and Botswana. So these countries make up this economic bloc known as the SADC, Southern African Development Communities. And today we'll be having in the house with us today a very notable speaker. Permit me to introduce. It's going to be the keynote speaker today. So, Madam, I don't know if you are in the house, Mrs. Nisha Surabali. I hope I got the name right. If I didn't, please pardon me.
No, it's all right.
Yes. So, Madam, you're welcome.
Good afternoon.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much.
We are glad to have you with us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Odiri.
Thank you. So Mrs. Nisha is an economist, and she will be representing Dr. Trisai Ramdini, who is the Secretary General of the Mauritius Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Madam is an economist, and she has vast experience with economic policies that have transformed the economies of countries within the SADC. So she'll be sharing a lot of light with us on what are the business opportunities, the economic opportunities, the trade opportunities, the investment opportunities within this economic bloc known as the SADC. And I believe we're going to learn a lot from her today. And I believe after her presentation, I think people will start packing their bags and buying the first class tickets or second class or even economy tickets, or even going by ship to the South African development communities, countries within that region, to start doing business. So, Madam, we're honored to have you here. And please, the floor is yours. You can please enlighten us. Why should we come to the SADC to invest? Why should the world come to SADC to invest? So, Madam, please take the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Odiri, once again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be with you today. So I think there's a presentation, but I can't see it. So I'm not sure if you're able to see it on the screen.
We're waiting for it to come up a bit, so just give us a minute or some seconds rather. Okay, great. It's up. It's up.
So you can see my presentation. That's great. And can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can hear you.
Right. Okay. Okay. So thank you once again, Mr. Udiri. It's a great pleasure to be here with you today. I'd like to apologize on behalf of Dr. Drishti Singh Ramani. He couldn't be here. He's in Angola at the moment. I'd like to share some insights on this webinar today. I'm Nishta Swajbali, head economist at the Mauritius Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which is the largest private sector association in Mauritius. And this discussion, I have to say, is particularly timely as we speak to deepen regional cooperation and position Mauritius as a strategic player in Africa's growth story. So the focus will be on why Africa, why should we focus on SADC, the SADC trade protocol, Mauritius trade with SADC, just a snapshot, the key challenges to address, and how can we reinforce this regional strategy for the SADC region. Just before I start, I'd just like to give you a quick word about the MCCI, the Mauritius Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So the MCCI has been serving the Mauritian private sector since 1850, and we are overjoyed to be celebrating our 175th anniversary this year. Over time, the Chamber has evolved into becoming a key stakeholder for shaping national and regional economic policies. In fact, our mandate includes trade facilitation, investment promotion, and policy advocacy. We also support our members, and I have to say we have over 3,000 direct and indirect members through business intelligence, capacity building projects, and networking opportunities. Our active participation in regional and international organizations such as the SADC Business Council, COMESA Business Council, and Pan-African Chamber of Commerce allows us to contribute meaningfully to cross-border trade and investment dialogues. It is, in fact, through this that we ensure that Mauritian businesses are well positioned to access emerging African markets and integrate into the regional value chains. Next, why Africa? So I'm sure you're all very much familiar with these figures, but I think it needs to be emphasized because Africa is undergoing a profound transformation. The figures speak of themselves. With a population of 1.4 billion inhabitants and a median age of under 20, it is one of the youngest and fast growing continents in the world. In terms of the economic outlook, it is very promising despite global volatility. Major institutions such as the IMF, the AFTB, project Africa to grow at 3.9% in 2025 and 4.0% in 2026, with over 20 countries expected to post growth above 5%. Mobile penetration in the continent and digital adoption are rapidly expanding, and we all know this. More than 500 million Africans use mobile phones, enabling the growth of fintech, e-commerce, and remote services. Africa, I must say, represents also a significant consumer and production base, importing over 700 billion worth of USD in goods annually, highlighting the immense opportunity for countries like Mauritius to increase their exports and invest in value-added sectors. In terms of sectoral drivers of growth, what we see is that growth of the continent is underpinned by 6 major sectors. These are agribusiness and agro-processing, infrastructure and logistics, renewable energy, digital economy and fintech, manufacturing and pharmaceuticals, and services sector. So why focus on SADC? The SADC, as Mr. Odiri rightly pointed out, it brings together different member states, among which Mauritius is part, and it is one of the most strategically important blocs in Africa. It has a combined population of 366 million and a GDP of over 657 billion USD. The SADC is rich in natural resources, minerals, energy, agricultural land, and is rapidly reforming its investment climate through bilateral treaties, double taxation agreements, and investment promotion agencies. Member countries are also increasingly prioritizing infrastructure, trade liberalization, and economic diversification, making the region more competitive and attractive to international investors. A quick word on the SADC Trade Protocol. This protocol was signed in 1996 and it was implemented from the year 2000, and it's the cornerstone of regional economic integration. Its most significant achievement was the establishment of the SADC Free Trade Area in the year 2008, which eliminated tariffs on 85% of intra-SADC trade. This liberalization has led to a dramatic increase in trade within the region from 13.2 billion USD in the year 2000 to nearly 59 billion USD by 2020. In fact, Mauritius, as a full member, I have to say, it benefits from duty-free access to most SADC markets, which has helped boost exports in sectors such as textiles, agro-processing, and manufacturing. The protocol aims to harmonize custom procedures and standards, simplify rules of origin, and foster value chain development, laying the groundwork for deeper economic integration. Next, I'd like to just briefly give you an overview of the Mauritius trade with SADC. So the trade between Mauritius and SADC region has grown steadily over the years. Our top 3 export markets include South Africa, Madagascar, and Seychelles, and they represent 96% of our regional exports. We export a variety of products including garments, noodles, sugar, plastic articles, fertilizers, and television receivers. These exports reflect both our manufacturing capacity and the success of preferential access under SADC. Mauritius, however, imports significantly more from SADC, mainly coal, crude oil, vehicles, food preparations, and raw materials. The key challenges to address, despite steady trade and significant progress, there are still several barriers which limit our full integration into the African markets. To start with, poor infrastructure, especially roads, in some cases, rails and logistic corridors. They raise the cost and delays of trade flows. The SADC Regional Infrastructure Development Master Plan actually explicitly identifies poor connectivity as a key constraint towards regional trade and integration. Regulatory fragmentation across member states adds another layer of complexity to cross-border trade, with varying standards, procedures, and licensing requirements. And I'd like to also say that SMEs also often lack access to finance and market intelligence, restricting their ability to scale or export. Political instability in some cases and macroeconomic risks also can deter private investment. The SADC Business Council, however, established in 2019, is a step towards addressing this. However, implementation still remains uneven. How can we reinforce the regional strategy for SADC? So we've identified 6 pillars. The first, I'll go through the strategic objectives first. So the main objectives would be to accelerate intra-African trade, enhance economic resilience, build cross-border value chains, unlock investment synergies, leverage on AFCFTA to position SADC as a continental export gateway, reduce our over-reliance on extractives by developing regional export-ready manufacturing, and finally, enhance investor confidence, very important, through cross-border investment protection mechanisms. How do we do this? So firstly, through industrialization, through regional value chains, that is building cross-border value chains, which would actually enable countries to specialize and collaborate in production. This would in turn reduce the reliance on imported finished goods and strengthen regional manufacturing ecosystems. Priority sectors could include agro-processing, textiles, pharmaceuticals, automotive components, among others. And in fact, strategic partnerships between firms in Mauritius and counterparts in SADC could facilitate investment, technology transfer, and job creation. Second is simplify trade facilitation and custom procedures. That is, modernize border systems through digitalization, transparency, and automation. Because why do we say that? It's because delays at borders increase trade costs and hurt competitiveness, especially for SMEs. So therefore, the adoption of regional tools such as electronic certificates of origin, harmonized product standards, and integrated customs platform can streamline cross-border movement of goods. Third, strategic infrastructure investment, which is critical to connect markets, reduce transaction costs, and attract industrial investment. There is a need to develop trade corridors, logistic hubs, and renewable energy grids. Mauritius can support in this infrastructure financing and in partnering with regional stakeholders on projects that unlock trade routes and power economic zones. Fourth, coordinated investment promotion and tax regimes. That is, reduce investors' uncertainty by aligning investment frameworks and dispute settlement mechanisms. Uniform standards on tax incentives and foreign investment rules will help build confidence. Fifth is skills development and digital innovation. A skilled, digitally fluent workforce is essential for economic transformation. Investment in technical education, upskilling, and innovation hubs will empower youth and stimulate enterprise growth. Sixth, and lastly, is the promotion of sustainable and green trade practices, that is the adoption of circular economy models and promotion of low-emission, resource-efficient industries. And we believe that incentives for clean energy, sustainable agriculture, and eco-friendly logistics will attract impact investors. In terms of the key enablers, we could use support systems could be the AFCFTA investment protocol, the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, the PAPS, the SADC Green Investment Facility, and most importantly, public-private dialogues to co-develop cross-border investment framework. finally, to conclude, I'd like to say that Africa and SADC in particular holds immense potential for trade, investment, and sustainable development. Mauritius is well positioned to be a strategic partner in the continent's transformation by providing expertise, whether it be technical expertise in terms of labor, capital, and connectivity. And we believe that to seize this opportunity, we must scale up our engagement within the SADC region, support regional integration, and invest in inclusive and future-ready growth. So I will end here and wish you a fruitful discussion for this webinar. Thank you very much. Mr. Udiri, I think you're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Also, I was saying, once again, I would like to thank you, Mrs. Nisha Surajbali. For those who are just joining in, Mrs. Nisha Surajbali is an economist with vast experience in economic reforms and development initiatives within the SADC region. And she's actually standing in representing Dr. Trisai Ramdini, who is the Secretary General of the Mauritius Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Madam, in fact, we are happy to have you here. This was a very insightful presentation. I actually could take away so much from it. So many things I didn't know about the region. I think I've just learned that from you today. And not just Mauritius, but the entire regional SADC bloc. One of the things I would like to ask is, personally, before we start taking questions from the participants who are joining us, what is the security structure or security situation within this region? Because we all are very conversant with a lot of the security situations within some regions within Africa. You have some in some parts of Africa, which of course we all know, which don't need to talk about them, but we all know there's some fighting going on, there's some security issues going on, and this sometimes poses a threat to investment within regions. So what is the security situation within the SADC? Is it safe? Are there any security situations that investors or people doing business should be aware of? So I don't know if you can shed a little light on that with us.
Oh, thank you for your question. I'd just like to mention that there are a few member states wherein there are political risks and macroeconomic risks, instability, but for majority member states, there is political stability and the economies are stable. As I mentioned, Africa's growth is surpassing global growth. So I think investors are very willing to invest in Africa. We actually receive a lot of people here at the chamber who are willing to go to Africa, even Indians who want to use Mauritius as a platform to invest in Africa. So the willingness is here. Despite there are some few countries, I will not name the countries, but there are just a few countries within the SADC regions where there are a few issues, but yes, there is a lot of attractiveness. There are lots of investors around the world who wish to do business with Africa because they know the potential of Africa. And Mauritius is very much ready and to support and collaborate with these investors.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Beautifully said, madam. I'm someone that is always very particular about success stories. I like to hear a lot of success stories, and definitely know that there will probably be few success stories within the SADC block, like businesses who have thrived within the SADC block, either by doing business locally within the SADC region or by partnerships with other African um, African regions or other African countries. I don't know if you have any you can share with us, like one or two, success stories, one or two companies within the SADC region who are doing very well as a way to encourage others to, want to come within that region and invest.
Yes, surely. I think it comes with both, either partnering with locals or they have established themselves. But for the case of Mauritius, I can say you have you have successful companies, conglomerates. We actually here in Mauritius, we deal a lot with Nestle, with a lot of South African brands. They are very successful around the region and especially in Mauritius. They serve the Mauritian market. And yes, so, and they are very much present in all our forums. And I have to say, at the chamber, we have joint business councils. So they are private to private collaboration platforms wherein businesses come and they speak about their challenges, the opportunities in different countries. We have one with China, we have one with India. So we receive a lot of investors, and like I mentioned earlier, they either look for partnership with local companies in Africa, or they just want to do the trade. They export their products, and or they build their plants there, but the willingness and the demand is there. The demand is there.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Saraj Bali. I think one more question, really. I think this is coming from somebody asking. The world right now is asking. The world right now is moving towards sustainability. What is the SADC doing towards sustainable trading, sustainability? And what initiatives or what measures have been put in place within this SADC to ensure that um, yeah, businesses or trade within this region or businesses within this region are actually being sustainable uh, in their operations and in their activities. What are they doing? We all know the world right now is moving towards sustainability because of the global warming, climate change concerns. So, what is SADC doing towards encouraging sustainable activities, operations, and trade within the region?
Thank you. Thank you for your question. So, first thing I'd like to say is that the SADC region has recognized sustainability as a critical pillar for long-term regional development. And we have seen that climate change, for instance, has had a big impact on globally. So environmental preservation, climate resilience, so they have invested a lot. Through various frameworks, strategies, and initiatives, SADC is actively promoting sustainable development across its 16 member states. So they have been, there was the SADC Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan 2020-2030, which emphasized, if I'm not mistaken, on climate change adaptation, environmental protection, and sustainable natural resource management. There was also the SADC Protocol on Environment, which provided a legal basis for regional cooperation in sustainable environmental management and aims to promote harmonized policies on biodiversity, pollution control, and waste management. Secondly, the SADC has also adopted the Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Strategy and Action Plan, which is the RESAP, to promote clean energy investments, energy security, and reduce dependence on fossil fuels. And there has also been initiatives such as the SADC Regional Agricultural Policy, which focuses on sustainable land use, climate smart agriculture, and water efficient farming practices. I'd also, as far as I can remember, there are also green efforts, sustainable trade and investment development, that is efforts to green regional value chains, which was mentioned under the SADC Industrialization Strategy and Roadmap, 2015, if I'm not mistaken, 2015 to 2063. So we clearly see that SADC's vision is for a sustainable future. It aims to build resilient economies, protect ecological systems, and ensure inclusive growth. I'd also like to mention that Mauritius is also paving the way towards this. We have built a sustainable circular economy roadmap. There are green initiatives. There is, because we have to meet the target in 2030. So there are lots of initiatives going around in Mauritius, and I think it has to be, the focus has to be there on green, on sustainability.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, madam, for that insight. I can see Mauritius is doing a lot concerning sustainable development within the region. I can see, I really personally, I have a soft spot for sustainable development because I'm actually into that sector. I'm actually into the waste management sector, the recycling sector to be precise. So where you were talking about the roadmap, the circular economy roadmap that Mauritius is doing, I almost started dancing here. I was so excited because you just like you just turned on my switch. So it's I would really like to know more. And for those who are joining in, all the presentation which Mrs. Shiribali has just done marvelously well will actually be on our platform at www.africantradeexhibition.com on our blog. So in case you missed it, you can always go there to get any information that you want. And of course, even her details will be there to be able to communicate for your concerns. Madam, once again, thank you so much. One last, I know we have just so that we don't fatigue you, but just one last question on a lighter note. We would like to always talk about cultural tourism, and we'd like to know what is the cultural or tourist attraction in Mauritius. What is the food
can
like
you
in
repeat?
Mauritius?
I'm sorry.
Like, okay, I said on a lighter note, we always like to talk about cultural tourism.
Yes.
So we want to know what is the food like in Mauritius? What is the Mauritius? Because we know in other parts of Africa there's always a signature dish. In West Africa, you talk about jollof. In some parts of Africa, they have different kind of panku and things like that. In Ghana, what is the signature dish in Mauritius? And what is the cultural tourism attraction in Mauritius? What's the fashion like? What does, on a lighter note, for people who want to actually explore the tourism potential in Mauritius, what is just a light note, on a lighter note, what are the things that they can come to Mauritius to entertain themselves with? Food, fashion, and the likes.
Right. So, in a nutshell, Mauritius is also called a paradise island. It's surrounded by beautiful beaches, and we live in harmony. There are different cultures. You have Indians, you have Chinese, you have Muslims, you have different religions, and there is mutual respect. There is political stability, and we live very happily. In terms of tourism, well, as I said, it's surrounded by beautiful beaches, and we're a very small country. We are only 1.3 million people, multicultural society, strong tradition of peace, political, I said, and in terms of tourism, we are a high tourist destination, and especially during peak times, in December, as from October to December. And food is really, you have all types of food, and one of them would be, you have different, you have the dal puri, you have, it's like, how would I say that? It's a blend of different cultures. So it blends everything. You have the dal puri, you have aluda, you have different types of dishes, and normally tourists really love them. And I warmly welcome you to Mauritius, even the participants, and I'm sure you will love it. You will love your time here.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Suraj Bali. In fact, I'm going to take you up on that. I'm going to take you up on that. I want Aluda and the Davery. When I come to Mauritius, I'm going to
Sure.
take you up on that.
It's not to be missed. And if anyone has any questions, or the chamber can help in any way, they want to engage with the chamber for any information or any collaboration, we are very happy to help. And we're just one phone call away, and yeah, waiting for your call.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Suraj Bali. We're definitely going to. I'm sure a lot of people who are tuned in right now are just, they are, I think they are packing their suitcases, ready to come to Mauritius, and
Very welcome.
enjoy the hospitality and the business opportunities that are within that region. So thank you so much, Mrs. Suraj Bali.
Thanks to you.
It was a wonderful session. It was a wonderful session with you. We're so much enlightened. We're so excited about the possibilities within the SADC, and I believe that this partnership relationship between SADC and the entire Africa, not just Africa, but the world at large. So thank you so much, madam. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
It was beautiful. We hope that this will be the last session we're going to have with you. We are going to have more sessions with you and share other possibilities within the SADC. So thank you so much, madam.
Thank you.
As we go further, I think we have other speakers in the house. Uh, we have other speakers. We have Dr. Abdul Badi El Dada. I think for those who have been very conversant with our programs, I think Doctor is not a new person to this. He's one of our partners at the African Trade Exhibition. He's also the Group CEO of On Time Group, and he has vast experience in terms of cultural tourism, and in terms of development within Africa and the Middle East. So, Doctor, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. He's going to be giving us more insights on cultural tourism within Africa, and how the SADC can actually benefit from this initiative. So, Doctor, you have the floor.
Thank you.
So you can take it from there. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you. And sorry, I'm in the car because I was traveling last 2 weeks, so my laptop time zone was different. So I'm supposed to be at the office now, but it gave me another 1 hour in advance. So sorry for that. From our side, we are working on the chat. We called it chat initiatives, and chat is regardless the name itself by developing conversation, developing insights, changing experience, exchange cultures between the nations in different regions and different zones. It's also abbreviation we created to preserve our culture, heritage, art, and tourism. So it's shared by itself. It's an abbreviation for culture, arts, and tourism. And when we decide to do the chat initiative, it has based on our vast experience in tourism and developing ecosystem for tourism within the countries, and also to be aligned with the global directions toward having supporting the global warm, the green initiatives, and taking in considerations how the heritage could be preserved in certain countries, especially when we speak about Africa, which is uh, like a lot more than rich, we can say, in different culture, different activities, different heritage, which we really looking to preserve it. And when we speak about South Africa, this region, we are speaking about also a very diversifications on this kind of heritage and experience on the norms, on the activities where the tribes from here and there could be able to protect it. But also in the other way, when we see it from economic point of view, and when we want to merge it with what we are looking now in terms of unlocking the trade, unlocking the economy of the country or the continent itself, we need to promote these activities as destinations for the global directions, and put these countries, especially some cities, which we can develop it as pilot projects and in certain areas, which one of the topics with the African trade exhibition has been highlighted on terms of tourism, because when we see it also economically, we know that tourism is mainly the fourth contributors for the countries, and mainly the first and the second contributors in other countries for the GDP and the economic growth of the country. So within this cycle, within this ecosystem, we have developed three strategic goals for us. One is how we are going to preserve these heritage norms, chat in general, and how we can develop kind of mechanism, guidelines, SOPs for that. The second, how we can link it for the global levels by exchanging experience, providing culture exchange, tour, providing institutional and diplomatic missions to be able to have full understand about what we can have on the ground, what's the reality on the ground, because it's not only about economy in terms of trading of goods and services, but also the tradition itself. It's something people would like to see nowadays, especially when we see the economic problems that has been faced by the world after the 2018 and after the COVID. People, we start to speak about them, or clients and travelers, we start to speak about them as budgeted travelers. So they would like to have a low cost accommodation, but also with minimum standard of hygiene, minimum standard of activity. So how we are going to combine this kind of the activities which we provided with the chat, in terms of workshops, in terms of experience, in terms of exchanging this kind of knowledge. The third strategic goals we set it for us is how we can contribute within these travelers, within this ecosystem, to the global contribution of the worms, to the footprint and to the blueprints, which now everyone is looking forward and everyone is want to have it. So the terms which has been developed in the directions of ecotourism, which mainly could have a lot of benefit. Africa could use it in their countries, because you still have a lot of naturals, a lot of sites which has been preserved or in the way to be preserved in these countries. But when we want to preserve it, also we want to give the populations are living there some kind of incentive to be able to contribute for this, but also be able to join the global directions in terms of ecotourism, in terms of environmental change, in terms of developing for this is related, this part related for the trading, in terms of developing the handicrafts, the local food which we speak about it, the local traditions which can be converted into local traditions. I'm speaking about clothes traditions, I'm speaking about cultures, I'm speaking about crafting. These things which now the global is looking to see it, because in terms of satisfactions from traveling on the main countries now, when we discuss and when we see the top 10 countries in the world, it's almost still the same, and everybody would like to see it visited once a year or once in the life. But also when we speak about the budgeting for this, it's too high for them. But in the other directions, people now start to look for the environmental. So when we discuss the eco tourism, and this has been developed a lot in the MENA region. At the beginning of the year, we were in discussion and we were working with Pakistan, and we developed with them what they call Pakistan Travel Mart. And Pakistan Travel Mart has been developed in a way to create kind of ambience with Pakistani people, but also with the upcoming countries that are providing these kinds of activities in terms of ecotourism, in terms of medical tourism, and in terms of the what we call it agriculture tourism. Why we speak about agriculture here and why we focus on this in this topic? Because agriculture, it's a part of trading, it's a part of the economy, and it's a part of what the the economy, the population, and the community itself would like to keep and would like to preserve it within their work. If we go also more down in the slide, thank you for putting it. This is the I think we need to go more in the second or the third slide now. Hello? Okay. No, we need to go on the opposite side, please. Yeah, this vision missions already it's clear for us now. This is what we discussed. Here it's one of our target services which we work on it with the agencies and with the institution, various stakeholders to be involved with us on that directions. And we work closely with Morocco, with African Afro Asia Union for travel tourism and handicraft and development, to develop the trading of the handicrafts. And with Morocco as a case study, we managed to jointly with them work in developing kind of mechanism where they will be able to join the globe in their local handmade, And this was one of the successful case study which we also would like to develop it in other areas. Lately we were in discussion, and as a chat we developed a collaboration with the International Institution about Sustainable Tourism, and this is based on the ongoing developments for the capacity and the skills for the communities we are working with them, and the joint effort for various stakeholders. We have developed what we call the Sustainable Tourism Academy, which provide a comprehensive works for projects. Mainly, we are closely working with the UAE now about providing them for the tourism strategy, as well as we discuss it closely with the Syrian after the regime that took place now in the country. Last week we were in discussion with them how they can benefit from what they have and how they can directly involve and implement this within a strategy that align with the global requirement. Why you are focusing about this global requirement? Because to be frank, this is one of the main requirements to develop the local community and to preserve their heritage, but also to be able to get the fund and the grants to implement these projects within their projects and within their standards and based on the requirements from the various requirements. Global wise, we see the increasing of the number of the tourism, local or low budget tourism, what we call it. In addition to increasing of the handicrafts, people would like to spend more money on purchasing local made products and the crafts rather than purchasing made in China, for example, souvenirs. On the other hand, they would like to attend and to be hosted by the local community, but also empowering this local community. This is kind of a roadmap of a journey we would like to develop closely with them, preserving their norms, preserving their habits, but also highlight these norms and habits to be able to have it as one of the added value people would like to benefit from them. Just to be within the time for me, when we discuss about chat, especially these initiatives now about culture, about heritage, about art, about tourism, we are speaking about full ecosystem in the community. We are working with them from making assessment for this community, identify which area we can focus on it and which area we can work on it to be developed. Putting and drafting or designing even the curriculum should be tailored for them based on the global requirements, and how we can work closely to implement it and to pinpoint this community or this area or this country as one of the global destination, and we try also to keep it as sustainable destinations for them, which again the globe would like to hear more about these words and terms in order to have them jointly interact on the ground. So mainly this is the chat in general, and this is the brief economy and trading, how we can collaborate, how we can make the contributions among all of them to be able to put them in one ecosystem and to be able to have a data-driven and objective focus and clear goals for them when we are closely having this implementations and operation in the ground. Thank you very much, and I am ready for any question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abdul. It's always a pleasure listening to your insights and your passion. You can see the passion for culture and tourism. And for those who don't know, CHATS, which is this initiative, actually stands for Cultural Heritage arts and tourism. Um, it's a hub to actually bring people of arts, practitioners in the cultural heritage, arts and tourism sector to actually come together to interact and showcase their ideas, initiatives, their arts, their practices within Africa and the world. Doctor, thank you so much for that insight. I think cultural tourism
Yes.
is a very, very big sector. It's a very big sector all over the world. And I think Africa can play a huge part in it because actually Africa is actually very rich in culture. Actually, Africa has a lot of diverse culture and has a very rich cultural heritage. Um, just like what the last speaker said, she talked about the rich culture too in Mauritius, even though Mauritius is a small country, but it's very rich in culture and it has a lot of diverse cultures that come together within that region. I would like to I would like to ask something because somebody sent a message here asking that how can Africa monetize their culture? Because culture has gone just beyond culture for culture's sake. People are beginning to trade their culture. People are going to sell their cultures. People are going to beginning to monetize their cultures. You can see how the Chinese operate. The Chinese was able to sell their culture to the world. That's why you go to every part of the world and you see a Chinese restaurant, you see Chinese clothing, you see Chinese brands everywhere, all over the world. Even in Africa, you go to some places, you see Chinatown. They have
Yep.
been able to export their culture
Exactly.
to the entire world. So
Exactly.
what can Africa do to be able to export, monetize its culture to the entire world? Please, just if you can shed more light on that.
Okay. Let me briefly tell you. We are working on like as on time group. We have a sector for franchising, and when we want to bring, let's say, an ambience from any country, we need to ensure that at least this cuisine or this market or this, let's say, collections, when you bring it from any country to present it in any other countries, you need to ensure that these sample or this pilot projects is up to the standard required. For example, we are working with UAE now and with Saudi Arabia about two cuisine from Lebanon, but they need the not the Oriental authentic. They need the Lebanese authentic to be there, the touch of the Lebanese. So we are speaking about from the branding itself. We are speaking about the taste itself. We are speaking about the difference between Lebanese cuisine, Syrian cuisine, Palestinian cuisine. They are all Oriental, but you have this small touch, for example, within this area for Lebanon itself. So when we presented, we were discussing about what have been done in Egypt, for example, with the Al-Kumi group before. We developed the story behind this cuisine or the story behind this brand. We work on this brand locally, at least at the beginning, for 1-2 years to ensure that the standardization, the SOPs, the recipe, everything is up to the standard to which the community or the area we are working on it or the country represent. Then we bring it outside, because you will go for a lot of countries, a lot of cities, and when you see, for example, this is Pakistani, this is Indian, this is Thai, or let's say not Thai, but Pakistani, India, Afghani. Mainly, if you don't know what's the differentiations between the food, for you it's all the same. It's rice, peppers, and that is it. But when you want to show the case of this and to present it, you need to create kind of storyboard behind it. This is one of the one elements we need to work on it. The second thing we want to work on it is how we are going to highlight this within the country itself at the beginning. What I mean here is that the country or the brand you want to work, you want to bring it outside, they need to feel the ownership of this products or this service themselves at the beginning. If they don't feel it, they will be like any trade. And if you deal with it as a trade, it's not a business. So it's a trading. You sell a service, you take a service in the back. While in our case, no, we want to have a business, meaning it's a long-term activity. We want to ensure that it's running on board. So to ensure long-term activity, we need to build the system in the back. Building system in the back, it needs to have some process. You need to apply it, you need to implement it in the ground, and then bring it outside. Then in parallel for that, you need to work on the third element, which is the media, the social media, to bring that. We have this dish, for example, in South Africa. It's only for South Africa. We have this dish in X country, so it must be here. We need to create the ambience within the region, so the people which they will go about, we need to speak, and we need to see when we bring it outside from the marketing point of view, we need to speak about where we need to present this cuisine at the beginning, where we need to present this franchise at the beginning, to be able to ensure that it will have the proper ear hearing it, and the proper acceptance for it, especially when we're speaking about culinary competition, food expo, all these items. So this is mainly the three what we call the three approaches. We need to move them in parallel to ensure that we have proper presenting for the country and the area where we want to work with them, and where we want to expose it for the globe.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Doctor. That was very, very insightful. So, I think much has been said about how Africa can actually export their culture, but a lot of work has to be done. That's what the doctor is actually trying to say. Like you don't just take it as a normal trade. If not, it won't be sustainable. But you have to, take it as a cultural, sell more of the heritage behind the food, a story behind it, not just a cuisine. You must sell the story behind the cuisine, and that's where the culture comes in. How it was made, what's actually uh, precipitated the whole the cuisine recipe. You understand? What was the culture, the flavors? How did they come
Yeah,
about? You understand? There's always a story behind the
exactly.
cuisine. That's actually the cultural aspect of it. Yes. That so
What we call it, we need to
Doctor,
make our internal homework first.
exactly. Thank you so much, Doctor. We've
Pleasure,
had a very
pleasure.
insightful discussion. It's always a pleasure having you on board. Uh,
It's pleasure for
and
me
we
always.
we hope to hope to have you again for the next series. Just because we're actually running out of time, so I will actually introduce the last topic we're going to be talking about, which is waste to wealth. Actually, that's actually my field, and that's why I always get passionate when they talk about sustainability and circular economy and even eco tourism and things like that, because that's actually the sustainable sector is actually where I lay my trade. So I'll be talking about or speaking about waste to wealth opportunities within Africa, and of course how I feel the SADC region can actually explore and benefit from the opportunities that are immense within this sector. I think sharing a screen. Oh, so once again, my name is Equitable. I'm the founder and CEO of Trash Pays. Also a partner to Africa Trade Exhibition, and actually the moderator for this session. Trash Pays is actually a waste management technology company based in Nigeria, but of course, our services is for actually Africa and beyond. So we deal in different waste management technology-driven services, the recycling sector, um, the waste tech solutions for the waste management and recycling sector. Okay, and we 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 can't help but see the immense opportunities because of the richness of Africa in terms of waste. Africa generates a lot of waste, and we unfortunately we don't really have the robust waste management infrastructure to be able to actually harness the opportunities within economic opportunities within this waste. Okay, so that's the reason why we are clamoring for Africa to actually open their eyes to look at waste around us and look at what are the possibilities of us actually harnessing this waste potential and turning it into an economic income stream for the entire region. So I will just be talking briefly. I think you can okay. So you can see transforming waste to wealth, Africa's new era, harnessing the power of recycling for a sustainable future. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, Africa generates over 125 million tons of waste annually, with only around 4% being recycled and managed properly. And this leads to a lot of environmental pollution and health risks, okay, with poor waste management. Now, the whole idea is that we have realized that Africa has a lot of waste. A lot of waste. Africa, 125 million tons of waste annually. Nigeria alone has over 200 million people, and we produce over 40 million tons of waste annually. You know, while the entire Africa produces over 225 million tons of waste. And unfortunately for Africa, we don't really have a very good, very robust waste management infrastructure put in place. Okay, we don't have much recycling facilities. We don't have much waste management facilities to actually even dispose of the waste. So what happens? We have waste in the landfills. We have waste in our dump sites overflowing. We have waste in our sewage drainage systems, you know, clogging our drainage systems, and this causes floods and so many kind of health and health, social, and even infrastructure problems in Africa. But the good news is this waste can actually, this cost can actually be turned into a blessing. This waste can actually be turned into wealth. Okay, it can actually be turned into an economic resource. Okay, well, just to borrow a leaf from what Mrs. Adibali talked about, she mentioned something about what the Mauritius Chamber of Commerce and Industry are doing in terms of the sort of raw materials. In terms of raw materials, so and these raw materials, a lot of these raw materials can actually be achieved through waste. A lot of waste can be converted into raw materials for manufacturing. So some of the raw materials that a lot of manufacturers in Africa are actually importing, they can actually be found from the waste that we actually produce here in Africa. So what Trash Place is trying to do is we're trying to actually harness Africa's waste potential through various channels and various means. Okay, one is of course by connecting waste enterprises in Africa here with international recycling markets. Because if we have a lot of waste deposits here, but we don't have a robust waste management and recycling system to convert this waste into raw materials, then at the end of the day, a lot of waste will be actually end up as waste. But if we can have a platform where we can connect waste enterprises, waste regions with international markets, both within Africa and outside Africa, Asia, North America, and Europe, and of course the UK, then those waste will actually be the potential of those waste will actually be maximized. We know a lot of people in the sector who the problem they're having is access to markets. Okay, what do we do with this waste? A lot of people don't know. Okay, we generate 50,000 tons of electronic waste from our activities, and we don't know what to do with it. We generate over 50,000 tons of plastic waste from our activities, and at the end of the day, what do we do with it? Okay? So Trash Place is actually providing a platform where we can connect, create a bridge, close the gap between the waste enterprises in Africa who are very rich in waste and the international markets in Asia, UK, and North America who are rich in waste management infrastructure like recycling facilities and manufacturing facilities, but they don't have, they're actually poor in quality of waste, which can be converted to raw materials for their factories. So that's actually the concept of trash base. And I think I'll go to the next slide. So okay. Okay, these are some repurposing and recycling concepts that's that Africa can actually explore. We talk about processing plastic waste into raw materials, as I just said earlier. We can process plastic waste like plastic bottles, plastic containers, plastic jars that have been discarded. This can actually be processed into raw materials and sold on the international market to various manufacturing companies at very, very attractive prices, and this can provide a lot of trading opportunities, a lot of income for a lot of businesses within Africa. For instance, within the SADC, I know definitely the last speaker, Dr. Ajbali, she talked about the the circular economy roadmap that they have, which was very, very impressive. And I really like to learn more about what's happening within the SADC concerning, or Mauritius concerning the roadmap for circular economy, because of course recycling is a very important part of circular economy. So I think, but that's very commendable because it shows that they're already on that path. So we would like to really know more about that and see the trade opportunities that can actually come from that. You know. So TrashBase is our company, and our innovative approach, as I said earlier, is we're creating a platform, a digital platform, where we can connect different waste management businesses in the ecosystem. We're talking about waste recyclers, we're talking about waste aggregators, which who are people who go around and gather this waste in, of course, commercial quantities. We're talking about manufacturers, we're talking about consultants, we're talking about environmentalists, we're talking about everybody in that waste management and recycling value chain, putting them in the community that they can be able to now trade their waste management products, their waste raw materials, and their waste management services. So if you're an aggregator for, let me say, plastics, and you are looking for, after I've been able to aggregate all this huge number of plastic wastes in my warehouse or in my scrapyard, where do I get value for it? TrashBase platform is there to actually help you connect you with the right kind of manufacturers internationally that will be able to give you a good price for that, And it's not just plastics. We're talking about electronic waste, that is e-waste. We're talking about rubber waste. We're talking about agro waste. We're talking about organic waste, compost. Okay? We're talking about metal waste. We're talking about this huge catalog of different waste categories. And the beautiful thing about it is that Africa is in abundance of this waste. I call them waste deposits because they are deposits, which they are like oil, they're like gold, for Africa. And I think we with TrashBase, is through our platform, Africa can actually harness their waste potential. Okay. Also, we'll talk about what are the benefits of the waste to wealth approach from TrashBase. Okay, we have what we call the bottom line benefits. We have the environmental benefits, which is of course reduced pollution. Okay, conservation of natural resources. And of course, even we're talking about degradation and all that. And we have the economic benefits, which is of course job creation, economic growth, and innovation. Okay, through waste to wealth initiatives. I mean, you can't even begin to say the amount of jobs that have been created in the recycling industry. When I mean job creation, I mean job to the grassroots. I don't just mean job at the middle class or high class. I mean job to the grassroots, to the waste pickers on the streets, to the most vulnerable. They can actually make a living from this because it trickles down to the very, very, very bottom of the of the ecosystem. So in terms of job creations, we're talking about thousands, millions of jobs that could be created in Africa. We're talking about economic growth, we're talking about innovation. That is where organizations like TrashPace come in. We're bringing technology into waste management through innovation, okay? Or rather, by bringing innovation into waste management through technology, okay? So then of course we have the social benefits, which is improved health, education, and community development. So through wastewater initiatives, like what TrashPace is doing, of course, it's a no-brainer to say that definitely there will be definitely improved situations of health conditions within Africans, because if your environment is clean, it goes without saying that the air you'll be breathing will be better, the quality of life you'll be living will be better, and definitely you'll be better as a human being, as physically and even mentally. So with health, it's very important, and the likes, So I will just rush that because we're actually running out of time. We have some success stories that I would like to share. Real life success stories for wastewater initiatives. We have South Africa. South Africa scored a 43% recycling rate for plastic packaging. South Africa is a key member of the SADC, and you can see that they are already touring that line. I think they're actually number one when it comes to countries within that region that are actually doing recycling activities and circular economy practices. So that's a very commendable statistic there. 43% recycling rate for plastic packaging. That's beautiful. We have even Rwanda strict waste management policies and e-waste recycling plants. Rwanda has one of the biggest e-waste recycling plants in Africa, and they are able to really transform the industry through that. Ethiopia's waste to energy plant processing 1,400 tons of waste daily. They transform waste into power, into electricity, and this serves communities and cities within Ethiopia. Okay, Finland. This is a country not actually on the African continent, but we just want to try to show you countries that have been able to achieve a very significant amount of recycling activities. Finland achieved 95% zero waste by converting all waste into reusable products. Now that's commendable. That's amazing. We look forward to a day when Africa can actually boast of such statistics. But we will get there. That's the reason why TrashPace is here. So these are potential for African communities. Okay, African communities offer opportunities for waste to work initiatives driven by, of course, the growing urbanization in Africa. Africa is growing at an alarming rate. Cities like Lagos and Johannesburg. Lagos as a city alone has over 14 million people. So that's just a city in Nigeria. Okay, Johannesburg, talking about Johannesburg, Freetown, Conakry, these are major cities in Africa. And due to the urbanization of these cities, there's a lot of waste generation. This presents opportunities for African entrepreneurs, for African businesses, for African traders to be able to actually build successful businesses around this. Trading opportunities, international trading opportunities around this. Okay, of course, thriving youth-led businesses in waste management and recycling. There are a lot of commendable youth-led businesses now in Africa. You see quite a number of them. There's a company, I think I saw some company, Scrap Pay. There's another company called, I think, Scrap something. They are also doing very well. Chanja that is also doing very well. Some other very, very remarkable, commendable companies who are youth-led companies who are pushing the envelope to actually try to bring up innovative solutions to waste management and recycling. Of course, increased community engagement and awareness on recycling. A lot of communities, there's a lot of awareness programs being done by not just businesses but also NGOs to actually educate people and communities about recycling activities. Okay, and of course, regional cooperation and knowledge sharing on strategic economic development through waste to wealth initiatives. This is done especially mostly by governments. There's a lot of knowledge sharing between governments, how actually manage their waste through activities, and roadmaps, just like what Mauritius is doing. So I think I will just try to round up quickly because we still have another speaker in the house. So basically, yes, that's what Okay, this is our gallery. This shows you the whole value chain of the recycling activity. You can see this is the first picture there shows you when it has been collected and plastic waste has been collected, and you can see the sorting process going on. Okay, then the other picture there shows you when it has been processed, and of course when it has been recycled. So you can see the whole value chain. You can see the last picture there shows you when it has actually been recycled into raw materials. Okay, that will now be used to produce new plastic products like plastic cups, plastic bottles, plastic plates, the whole plastic products that you use on your daily lives. This is actually the process, the recycling process for those companies who are actually making use of recycled raw materials. That's actually the process. Now, this is also some things that can be waste to wealth initiatives. This is also an example. This is actually upcycling. Upcycling is actually transforming discarded or waste materials into something of higher value. Okay, so you can see tables being created by from rubber tires. You can see fashion being created by discarded materials and textiles. You can see a metal scrap. This is metal. This is a metal. This is a what do you call it? A metal sculpture being created from metal scraps. So you can see the uniqueness. And these things are sold on the international market for very, very, very high amounts of money. So these are trading opportunities for Africa. You know. So with that, I would just like to, you know, so of course there are a lot of opportunities. Our numbers is there, but everything that was where every presentation I'm making here is actually going to be actually on the platform, which is www.africatradeexhibition.com. So if in case you didn't catch anything of everything I said here, you can always go to our blog to get more information. Okay. Briefly, I'm available for any question. You'd like to know more about crash pays or waste to wealth initiatives or platform or digital platform, please feel free before I actually introduce the next speaker. Okay. Okay. If there are no questions, let me just go ahead and introduce the next speaker quickly because we're running out of time. We have the next guest speaker it goes by the name of Dr. Adel Moslamani. Dr. Adel Moslamani is the Chief Executive Officer of Chinese Arab Council, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to have him here with us today. We expect to, you know, gain a lot from his richness of knowledge in the sector, and tell us what are the African trade and investment opportunities uh, within the sector, and how can the Chinese Arab Council and Africa actually you know take advantage of this relationship to increase the trading opportunities within Africa and the council. So, sir, it's a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much, and the floor is yours.
Hello.
Hello, doctor. Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Thank you for your introduction. Actually, I'm sorry because I think I have some trouble with my Wi-Fi, but I think now. Hello. Hello. Did you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Actually, it's my pleasure to join this meeting, the very important meeting. And thank you for the first speaker, which talk about West wealth. We are in China. Actually, we did a lot of efforts about wealth to West wealth first, because uh, you know, in China have some companies which is working around the world, including the Europe world and North America, for dealing with all kind of waste, organic waste, and other recycling waste. So we have a lot of potential to support Africa and to deal with this kind of problem. The West can give us sustainability, can give us development, and we can deal with the environment by very nice and good way. But I will talk today about other experience I have, which is aquaculture. Because my company is working in aquaculture. I'm chairman of Evergreen Aquaculture, which is one of the top 100 company in the world in this field of aquaculture. We did a big project in Egypt, which is named Gulyon. We also dealing with Senegal, we're dealing with South Africa, and now we have during the Afrexim Bank dealing with some Caribbean countries. What we want for Africa, we need for Africa development, sustainability. Uh, and the blue economy is one of the greatest sustainability and development economy we can deal with. First of all, we can give uh, cheap and healthy protein. We can support other kind of protein to become more cheap, because we are giving in the market the fish and aquaculture protein. Second, we can give job opportunities to big sector, not only for fishing but also for cultivation, all kind of fish. We can deal onshore, offshore. We can deal with fresh water and marine water. We can deal with many kinds of fish. The tilapia, for example, is an African fish, and tilapia, one of the most famous fish over the world. Only China every year can ship to North America only 2 million ton yearly. Brazil also can ship around 800,000 ton yearly. Indonesia can ship around 1 million ton yearly. We talk about only one kind of fish. This is tilapia fish, is African fish. We also can talk about catfish. We can talk about some Nile perch. Also, we can talk about some marine water fish like grouper, like sea bass, sea bream. Africa can get the different kind of fish and shrimp and crabs. All can be cultivated, all can give a lot of job opportunities, and all can add to the national reserve for any country doing that. Now we already deal with Egypt. We take Egypt from the rank number 11 in the world to become number 6. Egypt before have gap between the product and the eating is around 500,000 ton. Now we are talking the gap become only 80,000 ton, so we cover around 420,000 ton in around 7 years. That's a kind of amazing. We can see work in aquaculture benefits like work in drugs, weapons, but always, aquaculture is legal. So actually, we can support and we can help any country in Africa want to develop his aquaculture. we are ready to do. We have good experience, and we have we deal in China with our business partner is one of the top companies also in the world in the same field. We are managing some government farms in South China. We are ready to support. Like to thank you very much. Sorry, I some it's not working in China. We have to thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adel Moslamani. Wow, that was so encouraging. I love the encouraging words from you, sir. By saying you are ready to support your council is ready to support African trade in the sector of the blue economy, in the sector of aquaculture. Aquaculture is a very beautiful sector. My brother actually he had a lot of ventures in that sector, so I know a lot about it. So I know how lucrative the sector is. I know about the blue economy. I know how Africa needs to harness the potential of the from the fisheries to other businesses within the blue economy. Since agriculture is a very important part of African development, I think, because food is very important for Africa, and we have it in enormous quantities here. So, I mean, having the opportunity to be able to access different markets and get support from the Chinese and Arab Council, I mean, that would be very encouraging for African businesses in that sector. So, Dr. Moslamani, we appreciate you. I know that you were kind of like you have to rush out because you're very busy, but we hope that we'll be able to get you again on this our program to be able to shed more light and more opportunities for partnerships within African aquaculture businesses and the Chinese and Council. So once again, I want to say a big thank you to all our key keynote speakers and guest speakers from Nisha Surat Bali. I want to say thank you. You talked deeply about the opportunities within the SADC. I also want to thank Dr. Abdul Bade El Dada, who spoke passionately about the opportunities within the cultural tourism sector. And of course, last but not the least, Dr. Adel Moslamani for such encouraging words. I think a lot of participants will be very excited and would like to really explore the opportunities that that can come out of the cultural partnership with the Chinese and Arab Council. For participants who are just tuning in, don't worry about if you missed any of these insightful discussions or presentations. Everything will actually be available on our website, www.africantradeexhibition.com, on our blog page. So once you just go to our blog page, and all the presentations will be made available for you. Thank you so much. And also the recording will also be on YouTube. So on our YouTube channel. So you can always get that from there. So thank you once again, all the great speakers. We hope to have you again on another edition of our webinar series. That's been exciting and insightful. And it was a pleasure having you all in the house today with us. Thank you so much, and I wish you have a lovely and wonderful day. God bless.
Thank you.